Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Thursday, October 17th, 2013. I'm astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, check out Twerktober because I have brought the sale price down to nothing for a download, so where you can get into understanding what this twerking was all about in our lives, especially here as we're coming into the end of the month. Now, I want to say thank you to everybody for all of your support as I don't even want to acknowledge the sickness I had, but I was pretty ill there, and your guys' love and your guys' support was felt, and I thank you so much for being there. And it was so hard for me to sit on the sidelines as there has been so much shifting right now in the energy. Mars moving into Virgo as it opposes Neptune. That's a big deal. We're going to talk about that today. Mercury getting ready for a retrograde as Mercury is slowing down as it trines Jupiter. A big understanding is coming our way. And it's already starting to develop right now. A big truth too, because Saturn is now deeper into Scorpio, past the shadow period of where we're retrograde. We are digging deep here. We haven't been here in 30 years. This is some deep energy in our truth. This is now starting to expose more of our truth in our life. All while we have the moon coming into Aries today, conjuncting Uranus. Oh my gosh, as it squares Pluto, there is a lot going on. Now, how do we interpret all this? The first thing is there's also a lunar eclipse, which is beginning right now as the full moon is starting to brew here in Aries today. And this is eclipse season. Now, yes, this is a partial lunar eclipse. Some people have told me, it's not even a lunar eclipse. A lot of the science world's trying to get rid of all this. But the truth is, we are in the zone. We are in this zone of karma. We are in a deep karmic zone right now as a Mercury retrograde is about to begin, of a redirection in our thoughts about our truth, about where we must grow, understand our past, understand our emotions. This is going deeper inside than ever. This is a huge, deep inner work we are doing. And to make sure we are aligning our actions, our identity into this new self, into this truth, in order for us to spiritually channel our highest selves. I posted a video yesterday all about, kind of a more simplistic or more detailed way of how the identity is dissolving here on the planet and in ourselves in order for us to really be aligned with a more pure and essence of who we are. And it's so interesting that the last time Mars opposed Neptune, and it was in these same two signs of Pisces Virgo, was in 2012, actually, when we had Mars go retrograde in Virgo. And, we are re-highlighting a lot of the kind of reality we wanted to go with. But this time it's going to be manifested much quicker. There was a lot to figure out in 2012, especially as we began 2012. And there was a lot of adjustments we had to make in testing our ability to manifest the reality we want, in order to test our tools, in order to test, our mind and how we figure things out. That's Virgo. Virgo comes in and puts things together, very crafty, organized. We've been trying to organize our lives in 2012 extremely. And 2012 was such a crazy, gnarly, intense time, not only because the Pluto-Uranus squares happened, but we had this, Mars retrograde energy in Virgo oppose Neptune. It's all happening all over again. Now this time, Mars is not going to go retrograde here, although this is the last sign that Mars is going to be in before retrograde, which it will come into Libra next, and then it will retrograde for a long time. So, in many ways, we're bringing up how we wanted to organize our lives at the beginning of 2012 and even into the spring, into the summer of last year, how we could make that happen, to make sure that we were paying attention to our spiritual selves, to make sure that we were paying attention to our higher self, to the universe, to God. And in many ways, we are now organizing our lives and having to pay attention to our true self, reinvent who we are, really step into the reality that comes from us reinventing our unique identity by also coming into our truth now. The interesting part was Saturn was in Libra then when this happened. Now Saturn is in Scorpio. So this is about not only bringing the harmony and balance in our life like it was a year ago, which it was like desperately trying to find this harmony and balance. Now we're looking for this connection. We're looking for this truth. We're looking for our desires to become received in our life. That there is much we're ready to receive in our lives. And it is by how well we adjust our lives, how well we come out with the truthful identity who we are. And in many ways, there's this big unveiling happening as Mercury is trining Jupiter, which are both coming to very stationary positions. They're both kind of in this still energy going, oh my gosh, here's the truth, here's the past, here's your emotions, here's how you really feel. Anybody born with any planets, at the 17, 18, 19, 20 Cancer, or any of these planets here in Scorpio, or even in Pisces in that 17 through 20, has a big revolution, but, of understanding. But more importantly, for anybody who's out there, this is a huge understanding in your life about how you could readjust your reality now, how you could guide yourself better, how could you really pay attention to your soul and make sure that your identity comes out with this. As this is a huge full moon eclipse brewing here in Aries, which is to really emotionally understand and reinvent and, tear down the structures of your life or the rules that have held you from this truthful identity coming out of who you really are, of what you must be, of breaking down an identity that is held on to an old structure, held on to an old way, held on to a way that doesn't bring you balance in your life or doesn't let you receive what you want. Because in many ways, these are lessons in making sure that we receive what we want from the universe. And today is an important day to pay attention to the triggers you have inside yourself of what actions you take, to pay attention into the way that your reality is working out, and to make sure that it's guided by spirit, to make sure that it's in alignment with your truth, and to more importantly, make sure that you're coming into an understanding of the truth in your life, of where you must grow and expand. It's probably so clear, it's right in front of your face right now. Right in front of your face, and over the next 5 days, and actually, we'll even just pull this as the next month and a half as Mercury goes retrograde and comes back to this Jupiter spot, that the universe is going to unveil to us not only here in the end weeks of October, but all through November, of a truth that you must step into now, especially as a solar eclipse is brewing, which is going to come into Scorpio, especially because this is this very powerful time of the North Node here in Scorpio, and we got everything which is aiming towards this zone right here, because next year when Saturn's still in Scorpio, you know what? The North Node will be in Libra, the Scorpio energy will be a final run, but it won't be as intense as we're seeing right now. That I really believe this is the intensity of your truth that you're forced to recognize, that you're forced to understand, and to make sure you don't repeat patterns of your past all over again that bring you into karma that you can't pull yourself out of anymore. And to make sure that you're paying attention to this karma, that you're paying attention to this soul. You can't build a reality anymore based not off your truth. You must be guided from your raw and truthful self. You must be guided by spirit. You must pay attention to the signs. You must pay attention to your passions, your desires, and what you really want. You've got to get through the ego surface of, well, I want this, or I need to have that TV in order to feel good, or I need this relationship, or I need that. There's these I needs, there's these wants that we have that are ego-based. There are deeper passions that we really want, which get down to just the energetic vibration of whatever that is. That this is the kind of relationship I really, really want, because there's passion there. Not based off the identity of your life, of being in a relationship you really don't want to be in, or being in a job you don't want to be in, or, all these things are coming down to seeing where you're not living in that reality that really speaks of your higher self, your pure self, not your identity based off your ego or your mask that you've worn out to the world, one that you've built one off who you really are, off your past lives, off your spiritual self. And of course, microphone falls, but that's where we're at today. And it gets bigger tomorrow, so the weekend report is going to go deep into that, of how to look at this identity, to look more into this understanding, to see what happens here as there's new things to manifest, new relationships to manifest. I mean, Uranus trining Venus right here really can be epiphanies, really could bring in the right things, especially when we're dealing with Saturn, especially as Venus just got over a square of Chiron. Anyways, woo! Gonna be one of those days, but the beauty is there's balance to be found in your life if you're willing to take the courage to step into the raw and truthful identity to receive what you really need in your life. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, if you want to book a reading for when I come back at the first week in November. Thank you for all of your support, and I will see you guys for the weekend forecast tomorrow. And the 12 signs will be back up when I come back in November.